interrogation.
No.
Hello? I'm gonna keep looking right here as if someone's giving me like a look.
It's fine. I didn't
so
zoom
we had
out. So I just
a
zoom out.
lot of.
Yeah, because
I'm gonna have
phone's,
to do that for
phone's
one of the
weird.
questions.
Okay, cool. I'm good.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the next episode of Titus Balls Z.
So first question, basically, how did you get started in the career? Basically acting. What basically made you want to start doing acting?
There's nothing that I never really wanted to do acting, I guess. I love it. I enjoy it. It's like so much fun to get the but I always just want to work in film. I was a boom operator for the longest time. I got in trying to do stunts, and it was a lot of fun doing all those stunts. And it was no, but I did. I actually used to get. When I first started, I actually got I went to all these different martial arts schools, and I put up like flyers of like stunts ? But there's YouTube wasn't a thing. Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. So it was me and my buddies who actually, because I'm from Georgia, I got to see a lot of like friends from that I hadn't seen in years, and we got to do stunts. And he was like, "You remember when we used to roll down the stairs and we're like trying to figure out how to do like stair falls and all that?" I'm like, "Yeah, that hurt." And I'm like thinking like all my other friends like we didn't even realize at the time. I was like, "Oh, we could put pads under our clothes because we won't see the pads." So it was like a lot of like trial and error and trying to figure things out, and I'd probably have a few more brain cells if I did it properly. But after that, it was I was doing a film, another indie in Georgia called Golgotha, and I was doing a lot of like spear work, and I was doing the choreography for that, and the sound mixer was like, "Oh, hey, would you like to hold that boom pole? It's like that spear." And I was like, "Yeah, I've done it before." And then I started doing this for a living. I was just miking everybody, and as I did that, I was watching, I'm in the room with the actors, with the directors, and like in the private rehearsals, and I'm just watching. And then, as a kid, my mom always said she never saw me crawl. She never saw me try and crawl. I did it. She never saw me like try and walk. I just did it. And so, but I think with me, I was always just a very visual learner, and just trying to watch people do, the things that they have going. I try to watch and learn from so many other people, and who like even now as an actor, I'm on these shows and I'm watching actors be incredible, and watching directors now like try and communicate with us. And a director having to communicate with me is like some of the hardest things. I feel so bad for them. They have to use like quick words with me. I lose attention quickly. So okay, more. I'm like, thank you, good. Don't use words. I'll just do that.
Talk about because you mentioned indie, and that's a passion for me. So talk about working on indies, and versus working on Walking Dead, Shazam, working on full production. I know the crew feels different, teams feel different. What does it feel like for you?
With me, as far as as a crew member working on an indie was a lot more fun for me. It meant a lot more work and a lot less money, but it was because it was cheaper and they couldn't pay you as much. They gave you more leeway to kind of like express your opinions on things. And that doesn't mean like before a take, running in suggestion, but like it was a lot more collaborative. They would just say, "Hey, we need this. Figure it out," like that kind of situation. It's like, "Hey, we need to build a wall, or we need to do something like that." It's like, "Okay, any particular way you want it, so just make sure it blocks this," like, okay. And so we had a lot more, I'm using this and that, so I'm not really describing what I'm talking about, but it's fine. This and that. But there's, and you also got closer because when you do like the bigger projects, as a crew member, it's 16 hours and you just want to go home, and you don't, and you have to be back the next day. And with an indie, there's a lot more passion involved behind it from everybody. While the crew, though they're passionate about their job, they may not be passionate about the show that they're doing or working on. I'm not saying anything in specific, because I do love all my shows. And the thing about Walking Dead that is so cool, and Shazam that I love, because they're almost Canadian and they're super nice. but when it came to both those shows, it was people that there's these big projects where people actually truly care, like, or just, as a sound guy, I love it when the mixer like starts like, so I just got this new thing and preamps like this, and like they're just talking about all this stuff that I still don't know. I just know how to put a boom over my head. It's like aim the microphone, you got it. But seeing that kind of like the enjoyment from that in a lot of people is something exciting that you don't see in a lot of the bigger stuff. But it's, I don't know. So I guess one is great for learning and trying to like the bigger budget stuff. It's great for learning how to kind of make a living out of your work, and then doing the indies. It's you still learn the same way, but you also get to put in a little more of your heart for that. And that's the difference I noticed.
Cool. So I guess let's go ahead with Walking Dead. Did you think that your character Jerry would be as big or as he is, like not like physically, but just popular as he is? And then did they have a certain way that they wanted you to do Jerry? Not like a very lovable comedic Jerry? Did they want you to be more like serious, kind of like how King Ezekiel is?
Yeah, they had Jerry. I read him as Lester. That was the name they gave. But Jerry is very much this character that was kind of like a hybrid of sort of like my input and Scott and Greg's. And when I first got him, it was sort of read as like this tough guy, like this. And I've been watching the show forever, and I think I'm tough. I don't know. And as being a guy who thinks he's tough, I don't need to kind of flaunt that I'm tough. I don't need to be like, yeah, let's kill things. It doesn't apply to that. It's like, and what I liked about Jerry was that there was, I don't quite think they knew exactly what Jerry was. I wasn't sure until I have like this pun that I saw in the writing that I don't think it was as a pun. I don't think it was supposed to be intended, or I just read it horribly a bunch of times. But finding Jerry and sort of kind of being this happy character when everyone isn't made a lot of sense to me. It's not like he's crazy. It's just that he was able to kind of see the good in it. It was just a different perspective, because I can't imagine going through any kind of life where I'm just like carrying this baggage with me, and I definitely didn't want to play a character that was going to do the same thing. So yeah, it was definitely a collaboration on how Jerry was going to be, but that happiness and kind of a little bit of that breaking of the fourth wall, where he's like, I'm about to meet Rick Grimes. I'm going to act like I know who Rick Grimes is outside of this world, and that was that's fun for me because it's as a fan of the show, I don't know, I want people to see that it's like, oh crap, he likes it too. So yeah, Jerry's just, I don't know, Jerry's like this happy thing that he's not crazy, he's not, but he just sees the good in it, and I like that about him.
Cool.
Right before you came in, we all decided to watch a quick trailer, Darling.
Oh,
And now you're kind of freaking me out with the wall.
Oh yeah. What do you mean?
Darling, yes, and we just watched that trailer. And tell us a little bit about Darling. It looks like a very creepy movie.
Darling was directed by Paulina McIntosh, who played Jadis and Anne in Walking Dead. And though she and I had never had scenes in the show, we got along terrifically. And she's like, yeah, man, I'm writing this script if you wanna check it out, and she had done this movie called The Woman and Offspring, which were the prequels to Darling, and it's like it was so hard for me to describe, but now I think I got it. Darling is a coming of age film about a girl who was raised as a cannibal who now is dealing with a pregnancy, who has to live amongst a group home of this Catholic school. It's such a different movie that it took me and what I loved about Darling was the fact that it's about a cannibal woman, who in Woman it's about this cannibal who's like held hostage by this religious fanatic, and then she ends up like escaping and killing all of them, and is pretty awesome. So it's like this is a very empowering film, but in a very unique way by the fact that they eat the people they don't like. But you know, Pollyanna, she directed this, she wrote this, and this is what I was talking about with indies. There was a love and a passion that like I couldn't see from like I wouldn't have seen from other people for the budget that we had, and it was it was a relaxing character for me because it was just we had just finished our 8th season, and that was a lot of fighting and war and stuff, and we were shooting in Baton Rouge, and it was this relaxing kind of film, but it was just so different and shot so beautifully that I enjoy it. So I would definitely check it out if you haven't seen it because it's oddly creepy, but oddly like enjoyable in the sense that you like seeing these people get hurt because they kind of deserve it. So, but yeah, she is going to direct more. Like Pollyanna is going to direct more. Pollyanna is going to direct more films because she's talented. I mean, she's super talented, and she was able to communicate with each actor differently. And like I said earlier, like how with me they have to say like quick words, and she's like, Cooper, you're like, I don't know, you look like you're like I was like running around the room. She's like, you look like you're waddling around, and I was like, I don't know how to say it, man. And, but if she had said that to like another actor, that would have probably pissed them off. And me, I'm like, oh, good, stop walking weird. You got it. But yeah, that's that was definitely a hard project to shoot. And, yeah, but it was nice. It was fun.
So let's go with Shazam. Okay, so I was totally like surprised, like when I saw you in there. I was like, oh snap, this is Jerry. I was like, wow, he's a dad. Okay. Are you big into comic books, and to which made you, I guess, wanted you to take that role as into Shazam?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was a huge DC fan from the beginning. I was raised on Superman. I remember George Reeves, Christopher Reeves, Dean Cain when I was like 8 years old and watching Lois and Clark. And I want to get a compilation of Dean Cain from Lois and Clark dressed in the Superman costume. Every time he comes up to a body, he goes, he's dead. He says it so much to the point where I'm like, this is at least 6 times. Superman comes up to someone, looks around, he's dead. But I loved it. I love DC Comics. I love Marvel too, but I've read DC. I read Superman comic books. I got in during the Death of Superman and the Reign of Superman and Dan Jurgens and his art and everything. And it was just it was a fun thing for me. And then when Shazam came up, I got excited because I'm like, I like DC. Oh, first it was called like they had like a code name for it. I think it was like Franklin or something. I'm like, It's like, oh, I wonder what this is. I'm like, I wonder what I'm reading for. But it was, I don't know, it was cool because I always loved DC. Like DC was the comic I wanted to be, or the comic group that I wanted to be affiliated with. And when we did Shazam, I read that by myself. I did the audition. I had to send in the tape because I was filming Darlin', and no one was able to. Everyone was working, so I was by myself. And I remember I didn't have time to learn the lines because I was shooting this other movie, and so I put the iPad behind my cell phone, and I put a T-shirt over a lamp, and I recorded myself with my buddy on the laptop, like reading Rosa, and he was like trapped in his car in LA, and we were just doing the dialogue, and I sent that in. But it was, I don't know, DC to me, these are like DC characters are heroes that I think are more made and not, but within themselves. There is a strong difference between Marvel. A lot of Marvel characters, I feel like, not all of them, obviously there's exceptions on everything, but a lot of the Marvel characters, they're heroes that are kind of forced into becoming a hero. Like it's kind of like it's like they have no choice. Mm-hmm. And with a lot of the DC characters, there was a choice. It's their drive that kind of pushes them to do the right thing, and that's why that's why I always resonated with a lot more of the DC characters. But yeah, if I hadn't done Darlin', I wouldn't have done Shazam because I was up for another movie. Let's tell the story. Sorry, I ramble. I do this all the time. You can see this my table so long because I don't actually let people move. No, but Pollyanna, I was up for this other movie, and it was a big budget film, and but her movie was what was in the way, and I had a conversation with her about it, and she's like, I want you to do whatever you think's right, but let me tell you what I think is this. You're thinking about the money, and and which I understand completely, but like, do you actually like that project? And I was like, no, I don't. And then I was like, and I was gonna do it anyway, but I wanted to say, I already said I was doing her movie, and I don't. Once I say something, I don't change it. It doesn't matter. I won't back out of it. But she helped me like kind of understand that choice a little bit, and I got really excited for Darling. That's why I was so glad to be part of that movie and not the other movie that they were wanting me. And because of that, had I done that other movie, I wouldn't have done Shazam, and I wouldn't have been part of this amazing show. So it was which was so cool, and we got more to come. So I'm like,
Cool.
Right.
yeah,
Cool.
That's serendipity. That's
Yes,
that,
yeah.
That it worked out right. So.
yeah, everything worked out great. I ain't
Good.
complaining, and as long as there's food wherever I'm going, I'll be all right.
Thank you
Cool.
so much.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you guys. I
Yeah,
appreciate
absolutely.
that. Thank you.